good morning, and welcome to the 2020 Lights, Camera, Liberty Film Festival. My name is Alex Cordell, and I'm joined here by my colleague Hunter Rauch from the Atlas Network. We're so excited that you all have joined us here on day 2 of our virtual Liberty Forum and Freedom Dinner. We had some amazing sessions and speakers yesterday, and I know that we've got some great ones in store for you all this afternoon as well. I might be a little biased, but I do think that the Lights, Camera, Liberty Film Festival is one of the best sessions that we do at Liberty Forum. Clearly, in today's reality of social distancing and virtual meetings, having compelling films to share your ideas is more important than ever. When we can't rely on in-person meetings alone, organizations in our network that are able to effectively share their ideas through video is crucial. The good news is, every year, organizations in our network produce compelling and inspiring films, and 2020 is no different. Thanks to Atlas Network's Lights, Camera, Liberty workshop, organizations across the world produce inspiring films every year. We're so excited to share the best of what 2020 had to offer with you all this morning.
If you've joined us for the film festival in years past, you might notice that we're doing things a little bit differently this year. We received a record number of submissions, and our committee had such a hard time narrowing it down to just 3 finalists that we decided to take the top 5 films and choose them as finalists. This year, we also decided to lean into the compete aspect of our Coach, Compete, Celebrate strategy, and we decided to incorporate an audience vote into this process. 50% of the winning score was calculated by the audience vote, and by the time voting ended on Tuesday night, we had received nearly 3,000 votes for our finalists from around the world. And most excitingly, this year we were able to increase the prize for the Film Festival Award from $1,000 to $10,000.
Well, as much as I think everyone here tuned in this morning to hear you and I talk, I think we should probably get down to it and roll the films. First up, we have Bikalpa and Alternative coming to you all the way from Nepal with their film, Motorbike License.
लाइसेन्स खै ला साहब लाइसेन्स त बोकिन साहब घरमै छुटे जस्तो ए दाजु त लौ परेन जरिवानामा साहब म सधैँ यही बाटो हिँड्ने हो एकपल्टलाई यसो छोड्दै हुन्थ्यो नि अब दाजु बाटो चाहिँ यही हो उडेर जान मिल्दैन नियम त सबैलाई लाउनै पर्यो नि हाम्रो नि जागिर हो कि कसो दिले
हो साहब नियम त सबैलाई बराबर हुनुपर्छ साहब
ल सही लाउने ल्यो अरू गाडी आउँछ ल जरिमाना चाहिँ कति तिर्नु पर्ने होला
अब कार्यालयमा गएर मिलाउने हो भने 1500 यहीँ मिलाउने हो भने 500 के गर्ने
यहीँ मिलाउँ होला साहब कार्यालय नजाउँ होला
ल भइहाल पर्नु अहिले 1500
साहब त्यो लाइसेन्स र के रे पुरो पुरो चाबी
किन के भयो मुख त न्याउरो छ त
के हुनु त्यही लाइसेन्सको लफडा आज पनि 500 बुझाउनु पर्यो
सधैँ सधैँ यसरी पैसा खुवाएर कहाँ हुन्छ एउटा लाइसेन्स बनाउनु नि
मैले बनाउन नखोजेको हो 3 चोटि फेल गर्दिसके मोटरसाइकल कुदाउन नआए पनि एउटा कुरा सानो सानो कुरामा फेल गर्दिन्छ पैसा खुवाउनु पर्ने अरे कहाँबाट ल्याउनु 20,000 एकमुष्ट
20,000 त्यत्रो लाग्छ र
लाग्न त 2,2500 रुपैयाँ लाग्छ खुवाउनु पर्यो नि बुवासाहरूलाई ल ल हात मुख धोएर आउँछु खाना लगा खाना खान्छु
ल्याउनु हो तरकारी नभएर पर्खेर बसिरहेको छु त
कहाँबाट ल्याउनु तरकारी तरकारी किन्ने पैसा सबै जरिमाना तिरेर आए
त्यसो भए निस्तै खानुस् पल्लो घरको दाइको पनि त लाइसेन्स थिएन उसले पनि त पैसा खुवाएर लाइसेन्स बनायो नि उसैलाई भनेर मान्छे पक्रेर हामीले पनि लाइसेन्स बनाउँदा हुँदैन
अति नै भयो अब ब्याजमा पैसा खोजेर भए पनि एउटा दलाल खोजेर भोलि नै गएर यो लाइसेन्सको टुङ्गो लगाउँछु
तपाईँ पास फेलको चिन्तै नलिनुहोस् बरु पैसाको व्यवस्था गर्नुहोस् लिखित परीक्षा र ट्रायल दिने काम मात्र गर्नुहोस् बाँकी बात त म मिलाइहाल्छु नि
भेट्नुभयो त मान्छे
भेटे अब लाइसेन्स बनाउने बेलामा सबै पैसा दिनुपर्छ
त्यत्रो पैसा कसरी मिलाउनु भयो त
खोजे नि यताउताबाट ब्याजमा
ब्याजमा त पैसा खोज्नु पर्यो ब्याज कसरी तिर्ने त्यो पनि त सोच्नु पर्यो जहाँबाट लाइसेन्स बनाउनको लागि यत्रो गाह्रो
के गर्ने सिस्टम नै लुटेर खाने बनाएका छन् भारतमा त अब 50-60 हजार पर्ने नाथे मोटरसाइकललाई यहाँ 2 लाख भन्दा बढी तिर्नुपर्ने बाध्यता छ लाग्छ कि मोटरसाइकल विलासिताको वस्तु त्यसमाथि पनि प्रत्येक वर्ष 5-5 हजार नवीकरण कर तिर्नुपर्छ न बाटोघाटो राम्रो छ कर पनि केमा प्रयोग गर्छ त्यो पनि थाहा छैन त्यसमाथि लाइसेन्समा रोक लगाउँछ लाइसेन्स लिन पनि सजिलो छैन जाँच दिन गयो जानी फेल पारिदिन्छ बिना लाइसेन्स गाडी कुदायो ठाउँमा ट्राफिक पर्ची बोकेर जरिमाना काट्न बसेको छ यसैलाई भन्छन् वैधानिक लुट थोरैको स्वार्थ पूर्तिको लागि धेरैभन्दा धेरैलाई मर्नु न बाँच्नुको अवस्थामा पुर्याएका छन् दिल थो भाग्यो पक्ड
कहाँ भाग्न आँटेको भाग्न खोज्छस्
भाग्न खोजेको होइन साहब यो घरमा दुध दिनु पर्ने
परिस पुलिसको फन्दामा हिँड एकपल्ट थाना हिँड थाना
Next up, we have the Center for Anti-Authoritarian Studies in Serbia with their documentary, Right to Work.
Život u jednoj od najsiromašnijih zemalja Evrope nije jednostavan i posle 3 decenije reformi tapkamo u mestu. Svaki 4. građanin Srbije je u riziku od siromaštva, a skoro 5% stanovništva živi u apsolutnom siromaštvu. Uprkos tome, preduzimljivi ljudi u Srbiji pokušavaju da žive drugačije.
Od uvek sam želeo da pravim cipele i da nešto oko obuće radim. Zanat sam učio kod jednog majstora beogradskog koji je radio u Gavrila Principa ulici, tu sam krenuo. On je dao neki oglas u tom trenutku, bio je na ivici egzistencije neki, dao je oglas da će da uči zanat nekog mladog čoveka koji za uzvrat sam platio neke troškove tu njegove koje je imao. I kod njega sam krenuo, on je radio pre toga u Nemačkoj. Bio je dobar zanatlija, mada me je isputavao dosta u tom početku. Govorio mi je da su nepotrebne neke stvari tako koje sam ja imao u glavi, ali dobro, izdržao sam.
Istorija preduzetništva u Srbiji posle Drugog svjetskog rata počinje krajem 80. godina, donošenjem zakona o preduzećima. Svi taj zakon pogrešno povezuju sa Ante Markovićem. Taj zakon je donela vlada Branka Mikulića. Ali pošto je brzo podnela ostavku, onda je vladu preuzeo Ante Marković, započeo ozbiljne ekonomske reforme koje su bile pravi ulaz u tranziciju iz komunističkog u kapitalističko društvo. Nažalost, ta tranzicija nije dugo trajala, ali za to kratko vreme koje je trajala, bilo je idealno vreme za cvetanje privatnog bizništva i preduzetništva. Svaki dan su ljudi sa minimalnom ušteđevinom koju su imali zaradom ili pozajmicom od familije, sakupljenim novcem unutar familije, započinjali biznise, svesni da mogu sutra i da propadnu, ali su osjetili potrebu tržišta. Posle niza godina zatvorene privrede, raznih nestašica, tržište je bilo gladno svega i naravno da je najveći broj privatnih firmi otvaran u oblasti trgovine. Sledeći veliki zamah preduzetništva bile su ekonomske reforme koje je pokušao da sprovede Zoran Đinđić. Te ekonomske reforme nisu završene iz prostog razloga što su protivnici reformi streljali premijera koji je te reforme započeo. I sve se vratilo posle ubistva Zorana Đinđića na vreme pre Ante Markovića, dakle na srpsku verziju komunizma koju i danas živimo.
Uvek teško, mislim, uvek na ivici. Uvek smo se mučili, evo i sad isto.
Next up, we have Free the People from the United States with their inspiring documentary, How to Love Your Enemy.
We were at odds with a lot of other entities within the community, especially the Latino community.
We are fairly certain in most cases that the criminal justice system doesn't really work.
In a criminal justice world, everything is number-based. The judge doesn't know your name, he knows a docket number. The people in the jail don't know your name, they know your jail jacket number. The police officer doesn't know your name, he knows a case number.
Behavior is an expression of a need. When we define a person by their one behavior, their one need, we sort of eliminate our understanding of the holistic aspects of a person. That's what the criminal justice system so often does, right? We label somebody a vandal, a burglar, a thief, and that imprint stays with them because it limits their rights moving forward. I mean, or it leads to incarceration.
I mean, I would have lost everything. I would have lost my kids, my career as a doctor, my housing.
There was a push within policing to move from the reactive kind of policing where you just go to calls for service to a more proactive, preventative, personal way of doing policing. And the kind of the title of that was called community policing.
My mom, Dr. Beverly Title, actually founded the Longmont Community Justice Partnership.
Both Mike Butler and Dr. Beverly Title are visionaries, and they saw a way of doing things differently in Longmont.
So restorative justice is a huge umbrella term, and I think of it at its most core is bringing together victims and offenders when there's something that's been done, a harm that's been created, and trying to figure out a solution that can make that right to the biggest extent possible.
One of the main things for me was this people choosing accountability versus people being forced to be accountable, or there was legislation that was going to try to make people accountable. I was also a big fan of giving the victims more of a voice in what was happening, because the victim's voice, there's no legal provision within the criminal justice system for a victim's voice to be heard. And I said, I want to explore this more. I want to see what the possibilities are.
I don't think anybody deserves to be defined by the worst mistake they've ever made.
Something magical begins to happen inside of people when they go down that route, even though they may not be in that moment of wanting to take 100% accountability. Often they get to that point through the restorative justice process.
I think what we see out in the world today, especially in this country, are leaders and systems, institutions that are trying to promote fear and hatred. Restorative justice, on the other hand, asks people to get closer. What I didn't know when I first came to LCJP was how bringing people together in that circle, that actually every person who comes to that circle will experience some sort of change, growth, or transformation. Initially, it might just look like the victim and offender. the harm party and responsible person. They're going to be the ones who learn and grow. But the more that you do this work, you realize that it's almost impossible to come into that room and participate in that conversation and not experience some sort of change of perspective, growth, new way of seeing yourself and the world as a consequence.
The two greatest human technologies, I will always say, are apology and forgiveness.
Our next finalist is Fundación Libertad y Progreso from Argentina, with a video from their short stories, Fables for Liberty.
El puma y la serpiente. Todas las mañanas el gallo despertaba con su canto a todos los animales de la selva. Los animales prosperaban porque trabajaban aplicando sus habilidades naturales, como la liebre, que velozmente repartía las noticias que las aves recolectaban en sus vuelos a lugares lejanos. Cada animal respetaba las obligaciones y responsabilidades acorde a sus capacidades. Por eso era el ágil mono el que subía a lo más alto de los árboles, para juntar frutos y venderlos a los animales que no podían trepar. Así el mono podía comprar y disfrutar de la miel de las laboriosas abejas. La selva era una democracia donde gobernaba el puma, junto al astuto zorro y el noble y trabajador caballo. Un buen día comenzó la campaña electoral para votar nuevas autoridades. El gobierno de los mamíferos competía contra el partido de los reptiles, y la serpiente, su líder natural, se convirtió en un hábil rival. Siseando atrajo con sus promesas a los ratones y a las comadrejas que se sentían desfavorecidas respecto a otros animales. Les echaba la culpa a los monos, que monopolizaban el comercio de frutas que la comadreja también podía realizar. Prometía una selva mejor en donde los jaguares tendrían que darle al gobierno la mitad de la carne que cazaran y las abejas hasta 2/3 de la miel que producían. La serpiente y su gabinete sabían cómo distribuirla mejor entre todos, y habría riquezas e igualdad con menos trabajo. Los ratones, las comadrejas y otros animales creyeron las promesas y salieron en masa a votar por la serpiente, que terminó convirtiéndose en presidente de la selva. La asunción fue una gran fiesta. El camaleón, nuevo ministro de Economía, anunció que todos estaban obligados a entregar su producción al gobierno, el que a su vez la distribuiría en partes iguales a todos los animales de la selva. Les puso un impuesto a las liebres, en su afán de que las tortugas pudieran competir de igual a igual en el reparto de noticias. Además, la serpiente y sus funcionarios se guardaban una parte mayor que vendían en otras comarcas. Lo obtenido lo gastaban en lujos. Por eso, lo que para el ratón era más que suficiente, a los jaguares no les alcanzaba. Poco a poco, las abejas dejaron de trabajar tanto y esperaban que el Estado les dé miel de las avispas, que no sabían producirla. Y los jaguares se conformaban con cualquier animal pequeño fácil de cazar que se comían en la frontera del país. Y para evitar que los expulsaran, llevaban algunos restos al gobierno de los reptiles. Cansados, muchos mamíferos, buscando sacar mejor provecho de sus habilidades, prefirieron irse a trabajar a otras selvas para alimentarse mejor y sin restricciones. Así comenzó la escasez en el gobierno de la serpiente. La comida no alcanzaba siquiera para sus votantes. Ella siseaba las mismas propuestas e intentaba convencer que había poco alimento por los actos de sabotaje de los mamíferos, con ayuda de enemigos externos. Pero cada vez eran menos quienes le creían. Poco a poco, todos los buenos animales fueron comprendiendo lo irreal del discurso de la serpiente. Por eso, el puma y el caballo reunieron multitudes con una prédica sensata explicando cómo, con libertad para trabajar y comerciar, todos estarían mejor. Así pudieron ganar las elecciones y volver a gobernar. Los animales comprendieron el valor de la libertad cuando la perdieron, y por eso buscaron recuperarla para usar sus habilidades naturales. Haciendo lo que cada uno sabía hacer y cambiándolo por lo que otros hacían mejor, se logró producir mucho más. Así la selva volvió a brindar a todos más oportunidades para mejorar sus vidas.
And last but certainly not least, we have the Pacific Legal Foundation from the United States with their short film, Seize This House.
For 5 years, I sat behind a government desk pushing pencils. Now look at me. I'm the prophet of profit. I'm an earner for the county with my own TV show. You might say I'm like a bounty hunter from the Old West, hunting down tax cheats and bringing them to justice. My name is Andrew Pepperschmidt, and this is Seize This House.
We foreclose on houses with unpaid taxes and then sell the houses at auction.
Look at this beautiful, beautiful property. It's season time.
Get the off my property!
Get in the car.
I know who you are!
Open concept living room. This is very chic.
It's chic, I believe.
It's chic.
Michigan compiled law 211.6.
You've been seized, lady. Sorry.
I never had a clue there was a foreclosure. And then these two asshats comes in. Those are asshats!
The finalists this year represent just a fraction of the amazing videos that are being produced all over the world from our partners. It's just inspiring to see what organizations in our network are producing year after year. Before we announce the winner, I'm excited to let you know that registration for the 2021 Lights, Camera, Liberty workshop in Los Angeles will be available this week. If you want to be up here with us for a chance to win $10,000 in the Lights, Camera, Liberty Film Festival next year, the Los Angeles workshop is the place to start. So join us next year in sunny LA from March 11th through the 14th to kickstart your organization's next inspiring film project.
We're also accepting applications for the second annual film pitch competition. We introduced this change to our typical Lights, Camera, Liberty grant program this year. Atlas Network partner organizations are invited to apply a pitch or any other application for a film that they would like to produce. They will then compete to be one of 4 finalists to receive end-to-end film production support from our partners, Just Add Firewater. They will receive support all the way from script writing and pre-production through to distribution and post-production. This year's finalists are nearing the end of wrapping up their productions, and we cannot wait to see them. Hopefully, we'll even see some of them at our next year's film festival.
Well, if there's nothing else left to do, I suppose we should get down to it and announce the winner. Hunter, can I get a drum roll? The winner of the 2020 Lights, Camera, Liberty Film Festival is Free the People with their documentary, How to Love Your Enemy. Let's bring in Terry Kibbe, who is the co-founder and CEO of Free the People. Congratulations, Terry.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you what an honor this is for us and our whole team here at Free the People. Our journey to make this film started probably a few years ago, actually, when our team attended the fantastic Lights, Camera, Liberty training. Before that, Matt and I, who co-founded Free the People, we like to rely on spontaneous order for most of the things that we do. But Lights, Camera, Liberty instilled a lot of discipline in our team. And so as a result, our filmmaking got so much better. This film was done in 2019, and we didn't realize just how prescient it would be to release it now in 2020 with such a high visibility for criminal justice reform. We're using this film as a catalyst to try to implement restorative justice across the country and then hopefully globally as well. One of the coolest things that came out this year when we were releasing our film mostly online, we actually had a fantastic opportunity to do an online screening, or I'm sorry, an in-person screening at a pop-up drive-in theater in Colorado, where we had law enforcement attending. It's the first time I've actually been happy to see police cars pulling into one of my events, but they were there to learn how to help implement this program in their communities. So that was fantastic. I need to give a huge shout out to our team. Everybody worked so hard on this film. Sam Martin and Matt Battaglia were co-producers. Logan Albright was the sound guy and helped with scripting. Trey Lowell was on camera. Our whole team worked together on graphics and social promotion, and we couldn't have done it without Atlas. Thank you guys so much. And also TalNexus helped us out with some initial funding for the film, and so they were very critical for this. Again, thank you so much, Atlas. All of the work that you guys do is so helpful to us, not just here, but in everything that you do. My participation in the CEO Roundtable helps me a lot. So thank you again, and I'm very excited for this.
Thanks, Terry, and congratulations once again to you and Free the People. Well, that'll wrap up our Lights, Camera, Liberty Film Festival. Thank you to all of our incredible applicants, and thank you to all of you for watching today. Be sure to check out our website so you can register and apply to join us in my home next year of sunny Southern California for the 2021 Lights, Camera, Liberty workshop. And be sure to stay tuned for our next session the Think Tank Shark Tank competition.